another video. Today I'm going to show you how to make a classic Middle Eastern biscuit that's eaten a lot through Ramadan, but also eaten throughout the year as well. It's delicious. It's essentially a Middle Eastern shortbread stuffed with dates, and it's called MAMOUL. Maybe I'm not saying it correctly. Maybe it's MAMOUL. Anyone who is from the region who can speak Arabic, let me know in the description in the comments if I'm saying it right. I'd love to be able to say it properly. Anyway, so to make this recipe, we're going to be using a range of lovely ingredients, including fine semolina. We've got icing sugar, plain flour, orange blossom water, some milk, some softened room temperature butter, and that's going to make our pastry for the actual shortbread itself. And then over here, we're going to make a date paste. And that's going to be with some pitted dates. These ones are actually Palestinian dates, and they're so juicy and so soft. Let me show you. They literally tear apart, and they taste of fudge really at the moment. They're gorgeous. I've got orange blossom water. Now I'm just showing you the bottle that I use, which is this one. And it's lovely. It adds such a nice flavour. This is actually from Lebanon, this orange water. And then we've got pistachios and cinnamon powder. I'm just going back to the semolina, in fact. This is the semolina that I use. It's called fine semolina. So make sure you get the fine one and not the coarse one, okay? Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is make the pastry. So I'm going to get rid of these ingredients for now. And we're going to take all of these ingredients and put them straight into a bowl. All of the grams and milliliters for the actual recipe are in the description box below. Okay, so we're going to add in our semolina. We've got our icing sugar. It's going to go in. This is our plain flour. I'm going to add the butter in, and this is room temperature, softened. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to actually mix these together and basically get like a shortbread consistency. And then I'm going to slowly add in the orange blossom and milk because I don't want the mixture to be too wet. You can do this in a food processor as well. I absolutely love making shortbread by hand. I'm going to add in half of the orange blossom for now, and then mix and see how it comes together. Right, so this dough has now all come together, and I used all of the orange blossom and the milk as well. All I'm going to do is let that rest for around 10 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and make the date mixture. Right, so to make the date mixture, all we're going to do is take our food processor. I love using the Cuisinart Easy Prep Pro. It's super easy to use. It's this one. And it's really small and compact, so it fits into my kitchen. I'm going to take half of the dates, half of the pistachios. I'll put all the cinnamon in, actually. And then the orange blossom, just half. And we're going to blend this up. So as you can see, it's turned into a paste, and you'll be able to roll them into balls like that. Right, so the dough's now been resting and it's gone lovely and firm. And then we've got our date mixture here, which has been with the pistachios, which is lovely. And these are my MAMOUL cookie makers. So I've got one like this, and I have a smaller one like this. Now the best thing to do, which is what I find to do, is I take a bit of this dough first, and I sort of roll it into a ball, and then I can figure out how much I need per cookie. So that looks like it's slightly too much. You just take it down again. So that is perfect. So that's the amount that I need in terms of size of each of the ball, but this one has to be stuffed with dates. So I use this as a guide. So I roll this into a ball, and then I basically make all of them the same size. So I take that ball as a measure, and so I take half the size, which is that much, and I make all of my pastry that size. And you just keep going until you've got loads of these, okay? Now for the date mixture, you want the balls to be exactly the same size. You want there to be a really nice amount of filling. So the best way to do this, I find, is to take some orange blossom water and put it in your hand and wet your hand, and then take a nice amount of the dates and roll them into balls, and you're going to roll them right next to each other. So just like this. The water helps the dates to not stick to your hand. So I'm going to need a bit more. Okay, so just like that. So once you get to this stage, and move all of these out of the way, and I'll show you how I do it. So this is the size I want the eventual dough to be. So we make a nice little hole for the date mixture. That needs to be a bit bigger. And we cover it entirely, so it's all covered. And that's now the same size as that ball. And when we go to make the actual cookie itself, so let's move these out of the way for a moment. What you then need to do is place this directly into the mould, push down, make sure it fills the mould entirely. And there's no other graceful way of doing this, but you just turn it around and it comes straight out, and it has that lovely mark on it. So that's one. I'll show you this one. And then finally, I'll just show you how I use this one as well. It's the same method. So I take my dough and just see how much. So these are much smaller. So I need the overall dough to be that size. So I'm just going to take half of that, press it out, and take a very small amount of the date mixture. Put it in the middle. And these are much smaller, these ones. So I'm going to keep going and make up a load of these. What you need to do is just get them ready in the tray as well. And you're going to bake those off. Okay, so I've made all of these now. The MAMOUL are ready to go into the oven. They're going to be in the oven for around 20 to 22 minutes. Just keep an eye on them. As soon as they start to go golden brown, they're pretty much ready. And I'm going to put them in at 180 degrees. So guys, these are the finished MAMOUL, and they are amazingly delicious. You can see the lovely filling of the pistachios and the dates inside with a really short pastry on the outside. All I've done is just dusted them with a bit of icing sugar, and that's how you finish them off. I hope you love this recipe, guys.